Hello everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Destiny video. Today Fantasy Flight released more spoilers for Spirit of Rebellion. We're going to go through those cards spoiled right here. This first spoiler comes from the Hyperloops. There'll be a link in the description to where you can check them out. This is FN-2199, Loyal Trooper. 11 hit points, cost either 10 or 13 points depending on if you want to run him as a single or an elite. Has 1 range damage, 1 melee damage, 2 melee damage for a resource, a shield, a resource, and a blank. And after you play a weapon on this character, you may roll that weapon, if able, and then you may also immediately resolve it as well. This is a really cool card. This is a Stormtrooper. The Stormtroopers normally are 7 health. This guy has 5 more health than the other regular First Order Stormtroopers. This is the one from The Force Awakens that fights with Finn. So he's got very good health. 11 is for kind of like a not really generic, but a character that isn't really a main character. He has like one scene. 11 is really good. His point value is really good as well. So even at elite, you can still pair him with an elite of someone else. You can pair him with like an elite Kylo or elite Jabba and almost a lot of the other characters you can pair with him at elite. He has the same elite cost as Kylo Ren at 13. His damage sides are very good. So he has it's mixed, so that's kind of a downside. But he has 3 damage sides, one of them having to cost a resource. But his ability makes him really strong, so you can roll him out. And then if you play a weapon on him later, even if he's rolled out, you can still roll that weapon into your pool and also resolve it. If you were playing like a yellow-red deck, you could put fast hands on him and have him roll out a die, or roll him and his weapons out, resolve one of them with fast hands, and later you could even like do an override or play a new weapon on him and immediately be able to get to roll that and resolve it. So that's FN-2199. It's a very cool card. He's at rare. I know the baton, I believe, is a legendary, his force baton or whatever we're calling it. But that's FN-2199. We're going to move into our next card. The next few cards come from the Knights of Ren podcast. We'll leave a link in the description to where you can check them out as well. So right now, right here we have the Royal Guard. Blue villain, 8 health, costs 9 points, has 1 melee, 2 melee, plus 2 melee, a shield, and another shield. Also has a blank. It also has Guardian, and you cannot play blue abilities on this character. This is if you're running a single Palpatine die at 21, this is who you run it with. So you have Palpatine and the Royal Guard. The Royal Guard has Guardian, so you can kind of negate some of the damage that your opponents may try to direct at Palpatine. I also like that it has 2 shield sides, so you can use the shields to keep Palpatine healed. You can also do damage with him, so he's got the 3 damage sides as well. So you could throw a lightsaber on him, or the Vibroknife, which we'll get to in a little bit. He does have 3 damage sides, which are pretty good. I like his shield sides. You can use those to heal up Palpatine, keep Palpatine alive, and keep Palpatine resolving dice, doing those 2 extra damage. So this is the guy you run alongside Palpatine to keep him protected. So Palpatine being 21, Royal Guard being 9. I was kind of surprised it was blue. I thought maybe it would have been red. But I don't really consider the Royal Guards to be like force in the force area. I consider them more like military. But maybe Fantasy Flight felt if they gave access to Palpatine to red, it would just become maybe kind of overpowered if you were able to, throw like F11Ds on him and things like that. It may have just been a little overpowering, so they made the Royal Guard blue. But still, 8 health, Guardian, 9 points, pretty good die as well. So that is the guy you run with Palpatine. That's the Royal Guard. We're going to move into our next card. All right, next up we have the Vibroknife. 2 resources, neutral gray, so you can throw it in any deck, hero or villain. 1 melee damage, 1 melee damage, a plus 2 melee, a discard, a resource, and a blank. It has ambush, so you get your second action after you play it. And here's what makes this card particularly nasty. While this card is in your pool, melee damage dealt by your dice, including this die, is unblockable. So this is going to pretty much make all melee damage unblockable as long as you have the Vibroknife in your dice pool. So let's say you roll out Ray with this, you get ambush, so you get another action. You get another action for playing this on her. You can then roll it out and resolve essentially unblockable melee damage right away. Even if you roll a blank on this and you just leave that blank in the pool, it makes all your other melee damage unblockable as well. This is going to be a card I think that as soon as it gets rolled is going to get removed fairly quickly with like something like stuff like confiscation, disarm, um, Imperial Inspection, which we'll be talking about next. But it is a particularly nasty card where Dooku, essentially, this is going to really hurt Dooku decks because Dooku kind of relies on that ability of being able to discard cards to get shields. Dooku can still discard to get shields, but with this die being in the pool, that damage is just going to go right through those shields and right onto him, and he only has 10 health. So somebody could potentially, if they roll this out with enough melee damage, it could potentially kill Dooku in like one turn or one resolution of a bunch of dice. This is going to be particularly nasty. I think we're going to see a lot of in melee decks. I think with like Han and Rey, I think we're actually going to see people potentially stop running holdout blasters or run holdout blasters alongside of this. So you can play this on Rey. Rey's dice aren't particularly great, but she does have melee sides. So if you roll a single melee on the Vibroknife and Rey's modified melee, you can get essentially, I think it's like 3 unblockable damage. And this may be a die that you don't even resolve. You just leave it out, causing all of your other melee damage to become unblockable. So it's going to be particularly nasty. I'm looking forward to putting some of these in my Rey and Qui-Gon deck, as well as my Kylo Dooku deck. I think this is going to see a lot of play. I think it's going to become one of the more popular cards in the set. It's probably going to become, like I said, the holdout blaster of Spirit of Rebellion is going to be this knife. And it's nice to see it be gray, so you can use it in any deck, and also be neutral, so you can use it with either hero or villain. We're going to move into our next card. Next up, we have Imperial Inspection, red villain support, 0 resources. After one of your dice rolls a disrupt, you may exhaust this support to return an upgrade in play that costs 2 or less to its owner's hand. So we talked about the Vibroknife earlier. This will bounce the Vibroknife. It bounces holdout pistols. It can bounce F11Ds. It can bounce a lot of upgrades to their owner's hand. This is going to be very interesting, especially if you play, I think Krennic has Disrupt, so this can go very well in like a Krennic deck, where you're basically disrupting their resources and returning stuff to their hand, so their dice pool is less effective. I also really like that this costs 0. I think that's incredibly good. So if I run a Krennic deck, I'm probably going to be running a couple of these. So if you have 2 of these out and you roll a disrupt, you can actually exhaust both and return 2 upgrades to their hand. So that's Imperial Inspection. I really like the card. We're going to move into our next card. And our final card for today is Friends in Low Places, yellow neutral event, 0 resources. Spawn a yellow character to look at an opponent's hand and discard an event from it that costs 1 or less. So there's a lot of 0 cost events, like something like stuff like he doesn't like you. You can play this, look at their hand. If they have he doesn't like you, you can get rid of it. Anything that costs 1 or less for an event. I also really like the artwork of this card. I like that the Toydarian is kind of like, I'm not sure if it's supposed to be standing on the table or if it's just supposed to be hovering next to it, but it's just the artwork is really cool too. This could work well in a mill deck because you're getting to look at your opponent's hand and discard a card in there that's you basically cost either 1 or 0. So it can be pretty cool and pretty good in mill decks, and I also like that it can be used in both hero or villain mill. I can use this in my Jabba and Unkar Plut deck. I could also use it in my Padme and Jin Arso deck, or my Padme Akbar deck, or Padme or Akbar Jin, and so on. I think this is going to be a pretty interesting card. It's also a common, so you're gonna definitely, if you open enough packs of Spirit of Rebellion, you're gonna see a few of these. So that is Friends in Low Places. That's gonna do it for today's video. I want you to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Until next time, I want everybody to have a good one and take care. See ya.